Hello everybody, Lord Root here, and as you can see, I have fixed the encoding error for this particular episode of our Let's Play for OpenTTD, at least I hope so. It turns out that I had the encoder set to output 1720p, and this is a 1920 by 1080 screen, so 1080p. And because of that, it was, compressing everything, it was warping everything. But today, we're going to cover something special. We're going to talk about these buildings right here. Because of the fact that we've sort of been leaving them alone, but we really shouldn't. And I'll tell you why that is. If we go to our little diagram here, our cargo payment rates, and we stretch this out, you can see that, like we said before, there are really only two things that paid more than coal, and that was goods and valuables. Well, valuables we could eventually do. That wouldn't necessarily be such a bad idea. However, the trouble is that we need banks for that, and typically we either have to wait for the game to build one, or we have to fund our own, which we might be able to afford presently. However, we don't want to worry about that too much. But goods, on the other hand, is quite nice, because if we can get it there before something like 90 days, whenever we begin to cross over, then we can make more profit than with coal. But not only that, the way that we manufacture goods is through something called secondary industry. We'll talk about that in a moment. But that means that we're going to be transporting things like wood or steel, which is another secondary industry, or grain or oil or things like that to factories, and we get paid for it twice. So in reality, even though this wood here is maybe not as nearly as good as the coal in terms of payout, we get paid for both the wood and the goods that come out of it. So these are reasons to do things, and with the secondary industries, and that's why we're missing out on money. Now the thing is, we have to put these in a chain. Here you can see we can transfer valuables from bank to bank. We already said we're not doing that today. Why don't we take a look at particular cargoes? Coal, of course, goes directly to a power plant. But goods, we have three ways of manufacturing them. We have the sawmill, the oil refinery, and the factory. The sawmill and the oil refinery are probably the two most direct ways, and the thing about those is that you really can, with those, you really are able to set up the one resource and get goods out of them. However, you're most likely going to come across these factories, and the factories, if we click on them, require steel, which we can make up in one of these steel mills up here, and which we will, in addition to grain and livestock, which are made on these farms here. So this is pretty good. If we can just get a reasonable thing going for this, then it actually won't be too hard to implement this. So we're going to start with the easiest one first. We are going to make a one of these guys here. We are going to make the sawmill, or rather, we are going to implement the chain for the sawmill, and that's not too hard. However, we will have to sort of think about a few things because of the fact that if we take a look here, and yes, I am building into farmland, no, I am not sorry for it, but if we take a look here, we've actually got two factories. And the main question is going to be, how is it that we are going to be able to take advantage of these? And what I'm going to propose is that we are going to level these guys out. And yeah, Munchkin Woods, they may not like us too much at the moment. That's okay. One thing we do need to do, we're very good with them. We've already got a statue in there. So it's actually not bad. I think it's maybe this guy here, New Fonston, needs a statue. Or maybe not. I thought I had to put statues in. Oh, we can't afford to put one in. Well then. I guess we'll just have to wait. But you can sort of imagine that we've got this guy here. And these tracks are gonna cross over each other. Now, in order to get around that issue, we're gonna need to put in a junction here. And maybe the best way to handle that is something kind of like this. Let's just make sure that we've got everything we want here, and make sure we are lined up. We are not. Well, let's do that. So we're going to come across, and we're going to go put in our tunnels so that we don't lose any momentum going over bridges. Not particularly important right now, but it will be important soon. And the idea then is going to be that they are going to sort of travel around this region. And we're probably going to want to do the same up here. Now, do we have to level the land like this? Probably not, if I'm completely honest with you. But the idea is when we're doing these, we need to decide what direction people need to go. So this is going this way, for instance. And that means if we want to get over here, and really what we're going to need to do is something kind of like this. So here we go. It's okay to sort of have these low curves like this at this point, because this is really a low-end service. And in fact, they're probably going to want to leave that way. I don't think, but I could be wrong about this. I don't think we're going to necessarily want to go the other way. Let's just go ahead and while we're at it, get our statues in. But basically what we're going to do is we are going to assume that when these guys come out, that we're going to want to turn like so, and we're going to give them every opportunity to do what they need to do. So, you know, it's kind of slow what we're sort of proposing that these guys do, but this is a very compact turnaround, and we do the same here. So if this guy wants to get on this line, then the plan, and we might actually want him to come down just a little bit like this. The plan is for them to come down maybe just a little bit. Yeah, we need to come down just a little bit. And when they enter here, they're coming up through here. And I think we'll just do like that. Maybe wouldn't be such a bad idea, actually. To just correct this a little bit. But you get the idea. We're building a cloverleaf. And if you played, for instance, City Skylines, then you are familiar with these ideas. We're basically saying that if you want to make a left turn, then what you do is you take a right turn, because we are doing a left-hand drive system. And then you meet up. So this ain't too bad, honestly. We'll just do like this. Could I have done without all of that? Probably. Because, yeah, I need just a little bit of room here. To get what I want done. Okay, so this is this top half connected. And then this bottom half will soon also be connected. And they're going to come in and do their thing. And we basically have now created a cloverleaf that they can take advantage of. Now all we got to do is, I guess, figure out how we're going to connect this up. And we're going to use our method that we used before. That should allow us to get pretty decent throughput out of this station. And so the way that we can handle that is we're just going to branch off in a little tree pattern here. Like so, and put some signals on. They put the right signal on. I do not like how it doesn't really remember this, but that's okay. I prefer these electric signals just because I think they look better. I don't know, maybe people who are purist about trains. There's a railroad track. Oh, there is. Okay, I see what it's complaining about. We'll just go like this. And we'll try to get out of the way here. Can we level off a little bit more? Yes, we can. I believe that gets us to where we want to be. It does. Okay. So, now we are more or less connected here. Let us create our industry. And thankfully, we just happen to have a forest nearby. So what we're going to do, this forest provides 160 tons of wood, which means we are going to want probably size 4 tracks. That'll be nice. And we'll put it on the other side too. There we go. Now this guy is going to bring in a ton of materials here. The question's going to be, how do we properly arrange this? And the answer to that is actually going to be pretty simple. We're going to do an underpass, like we did before, because we want to remove all speed limits if we can. So this should get us a way across. And then we'll take it, and we will connect these guys up here maybe. In fact, I would actually rather prefer if we just leveled the terrain just a little bit more. Like I said, they're not going to like us too much, but we're doing them a service, so they can't get too angry at us. And in fact, time heals all wounds in this game anyway. Okay. So, we're going to get this industry going, and you might think, okay, well, if distance is a factor here, why wouldn't we just make ourselves, go a little bit longer out? And we really need to think of this like our feeder stations. In our feeder stations, what we were doing is we were taking raw resources and bringing them immediately to a station that needed them. But that's kind of what we're doing here. The main difference is that here we are we're bringing these guys, I guess, out. Let me just make sure Meitzen, I don't think it has its statue. No, it doesn't. But we care less about the what we get paid for the wood here. I mean, the wood's great, but really what we're after is the goods that come out of it. So what we're going to do, we're going to get this guy here, we're going to get this guy here, drop it off, and get a few guys running that. And while we are working on that, we need to talk about the steel here. As you might imagine, steel requires iron ore. And there's actually some nearby. Again, we're not going to care too much about, the ores and everything, about them being transported efficiently, because even though we could, even though that may not be such a bad idea, oops, wrong one, we would rather, if we can help it. Oh, damn. I'm not on my A game today, apparently. We would rather take this and pump it into steel, which we can take much further, and which we can then deliver down to this factory. Just to keep this factory from disappearing, though, and this is something that can happen, by the way, is you could actually have, your secondary industries disappear, which is not the funnest of things that could happen. So to prevent that, we're going to go ahead and feed it with something. And then, what I'm going to do afterwards is I'm going to build up the steel factory, and then we can see all of it in action. But before we do that, let's get this guy connected. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to do, because let's take a look at this. 108 tons of grain, 99 head of livestock. So I think we can get away with more or less balancing them. So we'll get that going. And again, we're not really going to get goods or anything out of that. Just quite yet. And we're not going to go for profit here. I mean, profit would be handy. But we're going to go roughly, what is it? I think it was favoring grain more than livestock. So we'll go slightly more grain. Which means we're going to need how many? One more. Alright, and then we'll get... Where are you, train? We'll get you going here, dropping it off, and clone you a few times. Ooh. I want to clone that. Yeah, we'll send these guys out, and we just need to, real quickly, get this signaled up. And we will see you when we are done with the ore transport. I think we are back. Why don't we go ahead and get some vehicles made? So here, we're just going to go ahead and full load some iron, which we can use with an iron ore car. And don't hold down control, you'll hide it. But we'll get a couple of these cloned up. In fact, we'll get 4 of them. And we'll full load here. And full load here. Or unload here, rather. Why don't we get this figured out here in a bit as well? It seems like I've done a few things, that make this really difficult. Oh, you know what I think I did? Hold on. Yeah, why don't we go there? We need these guys transferring grain, if we can get it. You need to be able to get out. And you... we need to get rid of these signals. Oh no. Well, that's something I'm gonna have to censor. That's gonna bring down the station rating a little bit. Which, you know what, is okay. That can happen though. In case you were curious. It's gonna take a little bit for this train to be cleared off. Maybe. I'm actually not sure what it's gonna take because it so rarely happens. I try not to... maybe we have to delete the track it's on. Okay, there we go. And we should also, while we're at it, build another thing. This time using a steel car. Five of them may be too many, but it always helps to have one in the station. Actually, no. I'm gonna say that's too many. So we're gonna full load here and unload here. So yeah, that should be interesting. I guess what we'll do, I want to clean up this little junction here while we're at it. There we go. And that should now give us a way to transport between, in this case, goods, which we should have plenty of, and which we need to start sending back. So we're going to start doing a few things. First of all, we need to create a goods transport. I'm going to go all the way from here to out here. And we'll get a couple clones. In fact, I want to clone one more. And we'll do the same over here. That is probably not done very good stuff for us, having those trains crash. Yeah, those guys need to be serviced. But we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna have them wait. And then unload. We could... Wait, why are you... Oh. I think I know what's going on here. You stop. This needs to go to Munchton Woods, which means your orders... Your orders are like that. And we'll put in a depot as well. Looks like I maybe got this backwards. I forgot to put the signals on here. Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, that's what we want. Because right now, it is a little bit tricky. This thing's acting like it can't get back up, which is kind of weird. Quite know why that is. This thing is going the wrong way, so what's likely happened here is I got my signaling wrong. That's a pretty good bet. Why don't we, for now, just to get this guy out of here, and we will, in fact, maybe follow? Yeah, this thing is really confused. Or maybe it's just going to a depot, I don't know. But we are making more than 1 million. Okay, it seems like we finally have fixed. We have finally fixed whatever the issue is, I thought. Oh, you know what? We did not, because... Here's how this guy is supposed to get back on. We want you to turn around. Signals can be really annoying at times, I'll tell you. Because they're coming up here to turn around, which I don't entirely understand. That should not be the case. Let's see if we fixed it. And then when train 60 is... No, we did not. Well, damn. Okay, so... What is going on here? For some reason, it does not believe it can go straight. I'm gonna take out that depot. I'm just gonna kill that. Because... This is the thing, this can go this way. And I'm not entirely sure what it is irritated about. Or why it does not want to cross over there. But it doesn't want to take that path for... Oh! Okay, well that explains it. What about this here? We got our steel being delivered at least. Let's see if... Okay, it looks like it's actually taking the correct direction now. So yeah, we had to signal backwards, and unfortunately there's not a good way for it to deal with that. One thing we could do, however, once we see how much this gets, and we'll get an idea. I mean, this may not be the best measurement because they were so delayed. By the way, what's our town at? Yeah, I'm not thinking this will be the best measurement. I mean, it's still 23 grand, so, you know, that's the thing. Why don't we do something about Punwood here? We'll create a new train. Go with the Genzu. Maybe bring a little bit of mail. And we'll take them to the airport. Might as well take them... Might as well take them out. So let's take one of these trains coming in here with the goods, because it's going to give us a much better idea. Yeah, it's going to happen. It can't find the path. You can see we're bringing in all of our goods now, which have probably been piling up. Yeah, closer to 25k. Is what we're looking at. That's per train. If we take a look here, yeah, Munchton has a lot of goods. Let's just grab one of these guys coming in. See where it is going. Although, that guy's probably got a lot of goods piling up too. Oh, maybe not. Where are you going, good sir? You're going to Munchton Woods. Let's clone this guy. It's clear we're producing way more goods than we can handle. And we got another inefficiency here. They want to go all the way around to get here. We want to fix that. Now we can hook this up with the understanding that they're not actually going to really be able to do anything about it. So that is going to be how we handle that. I'm thinking, though, this might be a pretty good place to stop. We've seen a lot of things, including a train crash, which I didn't really intend to happen. And note that receiving the goods doesn't really do much, except make us money. We'll fund more buildings while we're at this, which is what we really should have been doing, I guess, just trying to get this built out. However, and this is rather important, it is worth mentioning that we're now actually doing quite well. If we go take a look at our income, you know, we're making more than $1 million. We are in the middle of 1945, which I think is as good of a place as any. And I'm thinking at this point, this is maybe where the tutorial content might stop for this Let's Play. Oh, we got a bank. Then how about that? But either way, this doesn't mean necessarily that we're done, because I think as it turns out, we've actually got a lot more to do, so we're going to continue playing this like a Let's Play, and I'll do the tutorial content separately. But until then, this has been Thy Lord of Root, and I shall see you next time.